All right, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. So I just want to quickly go through the watch list and the technicals. So as far as the watch list, I am looking at Tesla, obviously one of my favorite stocks to trade. But the reason why I really like it today is because this is the daily chart on the left and this is the 30-minute on the right. Check out this daily chart. Handful of days of consolidation, above the 9, above the 20. So that looks pretty good. And if it takes out this 715, as you can see, it's been pretty big area of resistance. If it clears it, and then obviously the personality of Tesla is that when it catches momentum, sometimes this thing can really get going. It looks pretty good to the upside. So obviously know that pre-market high is above, but just that main technical level that I'm going to be looking at for the upside is 715. Obviously it doesn't have to do anything, but just knowing that if it clears that and a lot of volume comes in, looks pretty good. So that's Tesla. Now mRNA. So the reason why I like mRNA, had a weak candle the prior day. There was also some news about contamination or whatever, but as far as that, just seeing how it reacts to the news, who knows? But when it comes to the technicals, had some weakness the prior day, getting a little bit of follow through in the pre-market. It's back below the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. 370 is a big area of support. If it loses that, it does look like there's room to the downside, maybe to 360, loses 360, maybe down to 350. And now GME. So nice candle a handful of days ago. It's been holding up. Price has been getting tight. Looks like a flag pattern is forming. It's above some of the moving averages. If it takes out this 213 area, even though there is some resistance to the left, just realizing that if it takes that out, this could kickstart some momentum. So that's going to be the main level that I'm looking at. And if it never gets there, then obviously it's just not in play. And if this thing rolls over, breaks 200, 195, 190, it looks like it has room to the downside. But as far as the upside, this 213 is going to be that main level that I'm looking at. Okay, now AMD. So AMD had a very nice candle the prior day after some decent consolidation, above the 9, above the 20. And if it takes out that 112, which it's done in the pre-market, it looks like this can catch some momentum. So the next level above I'm going to be looking at is pre-market high. And now Square. So the daily chart still very strong, back above the 9 and the 20 after a few days of a pullback. Clearing this 271, holds above that. I think it looks good to the upside. So the next level above I'm going to be looking at is pre-market high. And then now PayPal. So PayPal had a big gap down. It's been consolidating for a bit. Feels like it finally found some support above the 9, above the 20 SMA. And if it takes out this 280 area, it does look like it could work its way into the upside gap. So obviously 280, major area that I'm going to be looking at. And then if it clears that, just knowing that pre-market high is above. So that's the main focus. There's definitely some good looking charts today. And I always make sure to mark prior day high, prior day low, pre-market high, pre-market low. But obviously I try to go in with a bigger picture idea. So rather than just looking at every single level and the moment it gets there, let me just take a trade. It really is what's going on the daily chart and then what is the market overall doing, and then trying to have a bit of a bigger picture at what could happen. So just making sure that I always have those 4 technical levels marked on my chart so I can be prepared both ways, but still keeping in mind the bigger picture. Okay, and the market is open. So now what I'm going to do is just try to wait for opening range breaks or flag patterns kind of right around those technical levels that I have marked. And I do like that this Tesla pulled back. I would like it to hang out below that 715 for a minute or two for a good entry. And of course, there it goes. That was insane. That was fast. That was really nice through 715, but I do not want to take trades within the first 30 seconds to a minute of market open. It can be very volatile, very risky. So even though that looked pretty good, I want to wait a couple minutes just to be safe. Sometimes that means missing a trade, but that's okay. So if Tesla can hold up, form a nice flag pattern, I feel like this does look good to the upside, and maybe it has some follow through. I'm not chasing this strength. I want to see this come back closer to VWAP, reset, and then possible next leg higher. All right, so finally starting to pull back. This is what I was waiting for. I didn't want to just keep chasing this up, so that way I'm stuck in this. I'm going to go for 5. Not sure exactly what happened. I tried to go for 5 contracts. This order's getting hung up, so I'm just going to assume that that's not going to fill. And now I just want to see if this can hang out, and then I will, I'll just market order in. So not exactly sure what's going on. Trying to cancel it, and it's just hanging out there. That looks pretty good through 724. All right, very nice. Filled at 1090. Very nice, big move. What happens into 726? All right. Gonna take out the whole number. Just want to see if this can have one more move higher. Nice daily breakout. Okay, I'm just going to come out of that. So that was a quick little move. I'll take it. I mean, obviously I had a chance to get a little bit more had I taken it off up here. But, you know, when Tesla catches momentum, it can really get going. I wanted to try to be patient enough to give it a chance. But the moment that this started to show some weakness at 726 and pull back, I just got out, left a little bit of profits on the table, but I wanted to see if it could push. I was in it for just under a minute. So I was trying to give it a chance to see, you know, if this could really get going. And, you know, that's what happens when you try to be patient. Sometimes you go for a little bit more and you just don't get it. And then also this order not filling kind of threw me off a bit. That's what happens sometimes with limit orders. So it is what it is. And this is a good example why when I start to see it struggle towards the highs, knowing that it came from 714, you know, I just get out. Yes, there are times when that fakes me out, it continues higher. But the reason that I try to consistently do that is so that way I miss this. So I am not caught in a candle like that. Because had I given it a few more minutes thinking this looks really good, it has to go higher, all of a sudden I get caught in this nasty candle. I'm going to stop out because it takes out a lot of price action to the left. And instead of being a small win, it ends up being a big loss. And at least for the video, it's good that this happened because this shows why I do what I do. Because I try my best to not get caught in stuff like this. So that attitude of go quick or just get out sometimes can save me from being involved in nasty pullbacks or vice versa if I'm short really big bounces. And now being that I'm out of the trade and I didn't get caught in any sort of pullback, I can think clear. It doesn't mess with my psychology like being stuck in something and doing the old, is this going to get back to flat or is this going to roll back over and then I got to get out for a big loss? I can just reevaluate the setup. If the market continues to hold up, Tesla gets back towards the high day and it breaks high day, that looks good again. That would be a trade that I would consider. Check out PayPal. Here's a setup that I missed. I was really focusing on Tesla and also being that, you know, I had a bit of an issue with getting the limit order filled, took a trade on Tesla, got a nice win. Just in that moment, I'm trying to make sure to just kind of back off, chill out, not overtrade, because that's when things can get pretty crazy. But look at this flag pattern. Very nice flag. PayPal has a big push off the open, consolidates, holds that initial move above VWAP, above the 9. It did take out that 280, which was a technical level on the daily and pre-market high. Nice flag, takes out the high of the flag and has a really nice move higher. So this is a good example of a very clean flag pattern after it broke some technical levels. So being that it broke those technical levels, in my opinion, that's where I think maybe this can catch some momentum. It's really hard to always get a flag to form perfectly at the technical levels that I'm looking at. So I use them as a kind of a gauge at, okay, maybe this can kickstart a bigger move. And then once those levels break, wait for that flag, and then that's where I feel really good about a high probability follow through of that flag pattern. Nothing is 100%, but this is a great example of that. So not very exciting, but almost 30 minutes into the day, had an issue getting filled on one order on Tesla, kind of threw me off. Ended up getting back in, got a small win, tried to give it a chance to go a little bit further, started to pull back, got out just to be safe. So I'll take the small win versus being involved in this and having to take a big loss. And I don't really see much else that I like. So at this point, I'm just going to call it. So now let's check out the P&L. The one trade on Tesla and made 175 bucks. Thanks for watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to highlight a couple really cool things that I have to offer. The first is my newsletter watch list that I'm going to be posting on my private Twitter 30 minutes before the open of each trading day. Here's an example of what that's going to look like. So I'm going to do a quick overview of the market, the SPY, the Qs, the upside levels, the downside levels, and then a sentence or two as to the overall bigger picture. Make sure to highlight any market news or events that are happening that day. And then I'm going to list the 4 to 6 stocks that I'm watching that day. If there's any company specific news, all the upside levels and the downside levels, and then do a quick bigger picture, a couple sentences as to what's going on in the daily chart. This is everything that's in my head prior to market open. This is how I prepare, and a really easy way to get access to my trading process. One page with everything I'm looking at, all the technical levels, and all the news delivered 30 minutes before market open in a really organized fashion. Also, I have a call service, so if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, you want to connect with me directly, talk about my trading, my journey along the way, and just connect with another trader, this is really great. And this can be a video call or a regular call, whatever you're comfortable with. It's a one-time fee, and it's going to be for 1 hour. So if you're interested in either one of these, I will put the links in the description below.